All right, so I've got the new holiday update. I'll give the version number in a minute. But one thing you can see right here that's new, view recent clips. Now this is pretty amazing because before you could only view your dash cam clips and Sentry clips on the vehicle. Now you can view it from your phone, which is amazing. And it shows you a camera, and you can jump right to the action by hitting jump to event. So this is really cool stuff. I'm super stoked just about that. So now let's get to a few release notes, and then we'll get to driving. So this is version, the holiday update version, whatever it is, 2024.45.25. Full self-driving, you'll notice, is 13.2.2. The version I just tested was 13.2.1. And let's see. Look, I know the GoPro's probably not the best camera to do this. I'll use a different one next time. On the service screen, you also have this, I think it's maintenance, which is new, which is kind of like scheduled maintenance, which I think is pretty cool. It wasn't there before, and you even see the request service button. You'll notice, if you watch my last video, that I mentioned one day it'd be really cool if the Tesla could take itself in for service when it needed to. You know, so that becomes automatic. I think that'd be really cool. All right, now I'm gonna pause and restart the video with our first drive on 13.2.2. All right, and we're in my driveway, and FSD is gonna take us the whole way. We even have Amazon doing a delivery right now, which will be a good test, because now there's extra hazards to deal with, and actually he's coming through my driveway, so we'll dodge him. And there we go. So cool that it can do that now. Unfortunately, it still can't like pull in park, like forward park yet. Maybe that'll be in the next update. But I tell you what, so I've driven a few times on 13.2.2, and over the, I think it was the weekend when it first started coming out, I was seeing a lot of the influencers that get like the early access. They were on it, and all the memes were 13.2.2 was the one that was going to set this apart from everything and really like up stock price and all this stuff. It's only a small dot release. We call it, it's a minor release over my previous video. So we're going from 13.2.1 to 13.2.2. But I also have noticed very substantial progress with this. I mean, I did a previous video on 12.5. I'll put a picture up there, but it was called Refinement is Key. And it was about some of those later versions of 12.5. Maybe it was 12.3, I don't know. But they were becoming more refined, less jerky, more natural. And I feel like this small release, 13.2.2, adds that refinement on 13.2.1. So I'm very confident in saying that this version right now, 13.2.2, it just feels like a human driver. It feels like a seasoned human driver. I feel like I'm being chauffeured. I mean, it's you know, the stops are better. I mean, that was in the previous update, but between the stops and I don't know, just how the car handles it just feels so natural now. It really feels like a human driving. And I even find it making some decisions that I would make myself now, which I've noticed are being a gap. Like I do a lot of disengagements because it's not driving the way I would prefer it to drive. But it feels like it's coming more into alignment to even some of the choices I would make now. So I'm making fewer preferential disengagements, which is really great. If they could just nail the pull-in forward parking, I mean, game over, right? So there's always something else to look forward to. But I'm impressed by this release. So let's talk about some of the other things that were coming in the holiday release. Number one that I started the video off with was the viewing the dash cam and Sentry footage in the phone, in the mobile app. Fantastic. I love that. I mean, to me, that's the most exciting thing. Supposedly there's a radar that I don't know if it's built in by default. Let me come back to that because I noticed something else. If we click on navigation, I know I'm not zoomed in, but there's this set arrival energy. And you got a screen pops up and it essentially says, based on your next stop, or really the end of your trip, what battery percentage would you like to be at? I use bad examples, right? Because I'm, maybe if I'm on a road trip, I am charging to 100%. So it would put a supercharger along the route as close as possible to make sure that, if I charge to, let's say, 100 because I'm road tripping, that when I get to my destination, I'm at 70% or probably maybe a little more. Maybe it errs on the side of more than less. But that's cool because I made one road trip to Greenville in an old Model 3. And I hit a supercharger, and there ended up being traffic, and I got to Greenville, and I arrived at the supercharger with, I think it was less than 7%, right? So it would have been nice to kind of say, hey, I want to make sure I'm at 30% by the time I get there, and maybe it would have put an extra stop along my route to make sure that I was up higher, right? So I think that's going to be useful for people that don't want any surprises. Maybe they're going to a location where a supercharger is not available and they want to make sure they top off before they get there. So pretty cool. Maybe it's not groundbreaking stuff, but it's a nice option. I don't know anything about the radar. I don't want to activate it while I'm driving. So I'll just assume it's built in by default for now. Alright, so apparently if you just press on the home screen, or I'm sorry, on the nav screen, you press this button down here, this will show you kind of a radar thing like in your weather app, like now and in the future. But I'm still not sure if that will do real-time radar overlaid on your actual navigation. So that remains to be seen. I tell you what, it's come such a long way. I really focus on what I'm saying now as I'm driving. I'm really not paying that much attention to the drive. Maybe that's not good to admit, but I have so much confidence in the car. It's amazing. I just feel like I'm riding with another person and I have the freedom to do whatever I want to do. Let's see. Anything in the display? Oh, this is new. So there's now a seats option in the control panel, and it shows you all the seats. Oh, I can move this passenger seat now forward or backward just by pressing these buttons, and I can control all the seat heaters. So that's pretty cool too. That's new. I don't know if I've seen anything else that's different in this particular update, but pretty good nonetheless. There's definitely a lot of responsiveness, and that's part of the refinement. The confidence in the driving, the smoothness, making decisions faster, just all comes together in a really nice package. Last time, in an older version, I think it was before I got the version 13, it turned in at the wrong cut through on the median, so this time it got it right. And we've got a pedestrian crossing, handling that just fine. I'm not going to have it auto park because I'm going right here. Alright, and we'll pick this up in a second for the drive home. Alright, since I now have pizza sitting on the back seat, let's kick on that seat warmer so it's not sitting on a cold seat. I'll plug in home, and the car will now back out of the parking spot and take me home. Probably do a 3-point turn. It looks like we're going to hit that curb, which is so cool that it'll do this. I mean, look at that. And actually doing it pretty quick. Not taking a long time to execute that turn, which is good. You want to make it quick so that no one thinks you're stopping or doing something weird and goes around you. I think maybe where the refinement is coming in is it feels like it's better able to distinguish where it can be like a little faster and where it needs to be more cautious. Because there have been times where it's felt like both. Early FSD before 12.5 was very overly cautious about everything. It would slow down too early. It would speed up slow. Like it was just, it felt like a grandmother driving. And then 12.5 was a little too assertive before they rolled out the minor releases after that. So I do feel that what I'm noticing is that it knows when it needs to be more cautious and when it can be a little more, I guess, assertive, aggressive in driving, if you want to call it that. Which I feel is good. It takes away a lot of the frustrations I have with full self-driving, because it's either if it navigates in a way I don't like, or if it's being too slow when I want to hurry, or being a little too quick when I would rather be at an easy pace. Like I find that's when I disengage a lot, and I feel like I'm not like swapping back and forth. Like it feels like it's hurrying when it's appropriate to hurry, slowing down when it's appropriate to slow down, and it just feels like a very natural decision, like what I would make. Alright, so this is good. So instead of making an unprotected left turn, as it's done sometimes taking me down a road to my right, actually all we have to do is simply cross these lanes. Maybe that was too easy. There's hardly any traffic. But not bad. And I guess it's hard to get through in a video, but the best I can say is this small release, 2.1 to 2.2, feels like it has a pretty substantial impact in the refinement, which is wonderful. This is a time where I wish I could like freeze the release and say, okay, maybe I'll just stick with this one because it's working so great until the next big one. Yeah, really good. I would totally trust this car to drive anyone in my family on its own to wherever they need to go, and I would have confidence that it's probably safer than a human driving at this point. Alright, well, that's all for this drive. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.